Hello and welcome to this unexpectedly atmospheric vlog post. I'm narrator, writer, and actor Rebecca McKernan, and if you're wondering for the reason for this darkness, it's just because nobody wants to be as backlit as I am with the light on in here. It seems sort of appropriate that we're going for this rather spooky lighting with it coming up to Halloween, but that's a level of terror that no one needs to see first thing on a whatever day, morning it is, Thursday. Today I offer you not something spooky or scary, as might be expected in the run-up to Halloween, but the latest offering, for want of a much better, less used in the last 5 minutes word, from Golden Angel, which is the first in her latest quartet. The book is called A Season for Treason. I've just completely, the name of the quartet has completely escaped me. I'm sorry, my brain is still running on about 30% capacity, so do excuse my general lack of knowledge about absolutely everything. I can, however, still read words off of a page, and that is what I intend to do for you, hopefully with minimal mistakes, but I am sure that you will forgive me. And if you don't, it's unlikely I'll ever know about it, so win. This is the first. I'm going to attempt to read to you the whole prologue of Golden Angel's latest audiobook offering, A Season for Treason. This continues with some of the sort of background characters that we met in her most recently completed Discipline series. And actually, I must say, I think they're some of my favourite characters so far. Anyway, your choice is yours. See what you think. So, again, this is the prologue of Golden Angels, A Season for Treason. Prologue. 1 year earlier. Mary. Debutantes were supposed to avoid rakes at all costs. It was not a hard and fast rule, but the debutante who ignored the social guideline did so at her own risk. Mary was not a risk-taker. She never had been. She left the risk-taking to her parents, who were consummate travellers and happiest when exploring uncharted territory and facing unknown dangers. Of course, she had no first-hand knowledge of their preferences, but she gleaned it from the many letters they had sent her over the years and listening to their conversations during the occasional visit. There were 3 people in the world who she relied upon completely. She had recently received a letter from one Evelyn Stewart, requesting Mary learn everything she could about the Marquis of Hertford. Mary did not question the appeal. Rather, she did not wait for an answer after sending her own letter back to Evie, but immediately began to investigate the Marquis. Gossip was easy to come by, viable information much less so, and an actual encounter was nearly impossible, until the Somerset ball. Walking on her cousin Thomas Hood's arm, Mary was surprised, and a tad shocked, to see one of her acquaintances standing with the Marquis of Hertford. Lady Arabella Wyndham was one of the very few people Mary had met in London she would consider a friend. She was also a debutante and the sister of a duke, so what the devil was she doing with a man whose mere presence could tarnish her reputation? Being the sister of a duke gave her greater leeway than other debutantes, but there were still limits. Even if Mary had not been curious about the pairing, she still would have attempted to direct her cousin that way, especially when she realised he was eyeing a small group of ladies who were definitely not friendly. She knew Thomas was considering Lady Winifred Belmont as a possible wife. It was her duty as his cousin to save him from himself. Really, she was killing 2 birds with 1 stone. "Look, there's Lady Arabella," she said, tugging gently on Thomas's arm to gain his attention. His head swung around, the expression on his face turning disapproving. It was all Mary could do to keep her eyes from rolling upward. Thomas's taste in women was extremely poor in her opinion. Lady Arabella was kind, warm, and entertaining, the very opposite of Lady Winifred. But Arabella was not her true target. Her true target was the man standing next to her. Tall, broad shoulders, broad-shouldered and so handsome, almost too beautiful for words. The Marquis's tawny hair and amber-gold eyes made her think of a lion, which made the nickname she'd overheard one man use even more appropriate: Rex, the King. Not the actual king, of course, but the moniker suited him. Never mind he was something like 18th in line for the throne. He acted as if he was the ultimate authority wherever he went. Mary wondered what it was like to have that kind of arrogant confidence. Even more annoyingly, it did not detract from his appeal one whit. Thomas had not moved from his spot, but it did not matter. The Marquis and Lady Arabella were coming closer, while Thomas appeared to be lost in his own thoughts, more interested in the Tun's reaction to the couple than in their approach. Mary wondered if Thomas would ever realise his trenchant disapproval of Lady Arabella stemmed from his attraction to her. Unlikely. Stubborn ass. Well, she would do what she could for him, but in the meantime— "Hello, Lady Arabella," Mary said, as the couple came within earshot. Lady Arabella's warm brown eyes widened, and she hesitated, but she covered her pause quickly. "Good evening, Mary," she said, smiling sincerely. There were so few sincere smiles among the Tun. Seeing one was always refreshing. Mary smiled back. "Have you just arrived?" Well, blast. Rather than introducing Mary, Lady Arabella was ignoring both gentlemen as if they were not there at all, which was likely beneficial for Mary's reputation with the Tun, but not very helpful when it came to Evie's request. If she could not gain an introduction to Hertford, she would not be able to speak with him without ruining her reputation completely. The social strictures of society were extremely frustrating sometimes. "Not long ago," Mary replied glibly, covering her disappointment. "It was a bit of a crush coming in." The familiar— Sorry, this bit always ties my tongue. The familiar patter of social chatter was easy to fall into, allowing Mary to examine Hertford in her immediate proximity rather than from afar. This close, he was even more disturbing to her senses. As if he were a lodestone and sheer compass, she kept peeking glances at him. He was as beautiful as a fallen angel, golden and dangerous all at once. Gossip said he was the head of a debauched society, supposedly even more secret and perverse than the Hellfire Club. It was so secret, no matter how she listened, she had never been able to learn the name of it, or any member other than Hertford, who apparently cared very little if people knew he was drenched in depravity. Supposedly, he had a score of mistresses tucked away around London, including a duchess, and had fought more duels than any other man in society, never losing. I think I'm going to stop there, because the prologue is lasting longer than it did in my memory, probably due to my mistakes. But those were the first few pages of Golden Angels, A Season for Treason, which is the first in a 4-book series. Focuses on, as you may have guessed, Mary and Hertford, who I loved in the last series, the last Bridal Discipline series that I narrated for Golden Angel. And I'm so pleased that they've got their starring moment in this book, because their characters really grow and are just fabulous. So you can listen to that on Audible, Amazon and iTunes, I believe. You can't find me on Facebook anymore because the Facebook, I won't say gods, Facebook decided to delete my page. So you can find me on my website at RebeccaMcKernan.com and also at Twitter and Instagram, Becca Tells Tales. Let's boycott Facebook. Oh, actually, sorry, don't entirely boycott Facebook, because the Golden Angel will be putting this on her page. So, just don't boycott it. Just, don't use it all the time. That's probably good advice for life anyway. So that's it for me, waffling on at you for today. Thank you for joining me. Like I said, Rebecca McKernan, writer, actor, narrator. And can't think of a way to sign off. So thanks, bye.